arena here at Wembley in London for this afternoon's press conference to announce the one happening at the end of March, on the 26th of March, right here at this very arena. It's Nick Blackwell defending his British middleweight title against Chris Eubank Jr. First, to open our press conference, we're going to hand over to Mick Hennessy. Mick, great year 2015. You got the rematch with Lenny Dawes after his defeat in December. Also, you steered Lee Haskins to a world title. Nick Blackwell's British middleweight victory as well, and Tyson Fury, of course, the big heavyweight win in November as well. Can 2016 get any better for Hennessy Sports?
Thanks, Paul. This one, yeah? Yeah, fantastic year for us, 2015. Absolute brilliant year with some great fights, barnstorming fights all throughout the year, and obviously Tyson Fury finishing it off with a history-making performance, becoming the linear heavyweight champion of the world. So we are really looking to step it up in 2016, and this right here is a tremendous start. It really is. This is a great start to the year for us, to have such a brilliant top of the bill at Wembley Arena. These two fighters are at the peak of their game at the moment. They're on fire, the pair of them. And this, we all know styles make fights, but this is going to make an incredible fight. It really is. And there's been a lot of fights announced lately that, you know, some pay-per-view, some massive fights all around the world, some not living up to expectation, some living up to expectation. But this one here, there's no chance of it not being an absolute barnstormer. This has got Fight of the Year wrote all over it, and the winner, in my eyes, will be guaranteed to go on to win a genuine world title. So, very proud to be putting this promotion on. I'd like to thank Team Eubank, you know, for stepping up and making this fight. It's in this day and age, things like British titles get sort of, you know, looked over, and they put a lot of emphasis on the British title, and you know, that's where I come from as well. I'm old school. There's nothing better than the likes of this. You know, two old school fighters fighting for an old school title, for the right to go on and become world champion. And you know, I thank them for help making this happen, stepping up to the plate, and yeah, let's get it on. I'm going to hand you back to Paul so we can speak to the main people on this table.
Just on the bill as well, Mick, got an absolutely fantastic undercard as well. It's really building nicely. The chief support, Huey Lewis Fury, his opponent's announced today as well.
Yeah, that's right. We've just confirmed Nagy Aguilera for Huey Lewis Fury, and we're waiting for confirmation for the WBC international title. It's a big step up for Huey. He's a dangerous fighter. Last September he went over to Poland and pulled off a real big win out there, and turned over a big prospect. So it's a big step up for Huey, and you know, he's a sensational young fighter, and I'm sure he's going to, you know, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. But yeah, we're going to be doing a quality undercard. We've got young Yusuf Safa sitting in the front row here. Very talented young fighter. He's on the card. Young Fury. It looks like Frank Buglioni might be on the card, and also Ricky Boylan. So it's going to be a quality card.
So it's going to be a fantastic chief support as well. That one's going to be live on Channel 5. Just a little bit about Huey's opponent. He's from the Dominican Republic, to the Dominican Dynamite. Now boxes out of New York. It is just announced today that he is Huey's opponent on the chief support, and he's had 20 victories, and he's got 14 big wins by way of knockout as well. So a big bill. It is live on Spike TV from 7:30, and then it's live on Channel 5 across the UK from 9:45, with two fights on Channel 5, Nick Blackwell and Chris Eubank Jr. and Huey Lewis Fury and Nagy Aguilera. So on to the main event then. If we can just grab a quick word with everybody as we go along. Could we just grab a quick word with you, please, Ronnie? First of all, we've got a mic just in front of Chris for you there. Obviously, you've been you're working nicely, Ronnie. Welcome, Ronnie. And just a word about your man. Tell us what you're bringing to the table with Chris Eubank.
Well, he's in great shape. He always is. He trains 6 days a week. No break over the Christmas period. He's near enough on weight now.
I train 7 days a week, Davis.
Without me, no, you don't know that. I'm always in the bars and you can't find me then. He's looking really good. Loads of good sparring. Everything's going to plan.
Everything on schedule with his career as far as he's...
Yeah. And I just like to say I'm really pleased he's fighting the British title. I know it's what his father always wanted for himself. And we both wanted it. It didn't happen. It'd been great. I've been proud to have had a British champion. It'd be nice to do this way.
All right, and any sort of different preparation ahead of this fight, or is it just...
No, not at all. Same old thing. We know what we're doing.
All right, thanks very much, Ronnie. We're just going to hand over now to the champions trainer, to Gary Lockett. Gary, you must be very proud of you, man. You currently train the British middleweight champion.
Yeah, and I'll just reiterate what Ron said there. Nick trains like a demon. I think we all know Nick's engine. He's got no amateur background, so a lot of people say no skills, flat-footed mug. Someone called you on Twitter, wouldn't it? I don't think that really matters in this fight because, like Mick said earlier, you know, it can't fail to live up to expectations. I think you know, we've got a lot of respect for Chris. Obviously, a very solid fighter. We see dents in the armory where we can capitalise on. But you know, Nick is a tough, hard, strong man with a superb engine, and he's added a lot of things in the last sort of 3 or 4 fights. He's not really the type of fighter that can go into, for instance, his last 2 defences. I don't think he really felt them. He's really up for them. But you know, if you can't get up for someone like Chris Eubank Jr., then there's something wrong. I know Nick is really up for this fight, and I believe in my man, as we all do, as Mick does, and we're fully confident in the victory.
Big win against Ryder last year at the O2, then 2 tough defences, as you say, with Damon Jones and Jack Armfield. How's this one compare as well? The preparation, what you made for the first 2 defences to Chris Eubank Jr., is this a different level?
Well, preparation-wise, I think you know nothing's different. You've always got to be as fit and as tough as you can be. But he's got fantastic sparring in the gym. Liam Williams, who's British and Commonwealth champion, and in my opinion, is the best light middleweight in the country, if not Europe. And spars with Liam very regularly. Fantastic sparring. I mean, you probably paid to watch it. You've got a young kid, super middle, Alex Hughes, who's 7-0, and you know, he's got great sparring in the gym. But obviously, we have to bring other sparring in and go around the country doing our bits and bobs. But you know, look, you know, Nick's going to have to be better than he's ever been, and you know, we're not taking the challenge lightly. He's going to have to be twice as good as what he was against John Ryder and the last 2 fights. And you know, we're under no illusions. But I know. You know, I've been involved in boxing a long time, as everyone on this table has, and I know when I see a hungry fighter, he's very, very confident, and as is all the team.
Added incentive as well with the Lonsdale belt, 3rd defence now.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but it's also an incentive to Chris to win the Lonsdale belt. That obviously they've been. Chris Senior has been, you know, you hungered after as a fighter, and the trainer Ron wants to have a British champion. So eager incentive for both fighters.
Thanks, Gary. Chris Eubank Senior, if we can perhaps grab a word with you, Chris. Obviously king of your divisions, the middleweight and super middleweight division. Your son, you look at your son following in father's footsteps, you're a very proud father.
Am I proud? Oh my goodness. You know, he doesn't talk back, so I'm extremely pleased that he's well-mannered. Now, his ability is a different thing. Ruthless is his attitude towards anything boxing. He's cold, he's insular, and I think, well, he's scary. And I think that in the coming weeks, months and years, I really think Junior is going to be able to bring a different dynamic to the game.
Do you see him following in your footsteps? Is he going to be better than you?
He can't be as good. He can't be as good as me, so he's going to have to be better. And if he follows instruction, if he follows Ronnie, if he follows the advice of the guys who have been there, then there's no reason why he can't. most certainly it's difficult to find anyone with his speed, his irrepressibility, his attitude, his cold-like demeanor. It's hard to find. In terms of ability, it is exceptional. I think we can all see that. In terms of his personality, he is ice cold. So I think it's going to be something quite exciting to actually see. Look, I mean, if I'm wrong, we do not for any moment underestimate Nick Blackwell. I mean, he has sparred Junior. Junior has said to me on a few occasions that his ability has risen, his strength has improved. I was pointing out to Junior how a champion who wants to get the Lonsdale belt outright, how a fighter has the ability to raise his game, as his trainer has just said. So Junior is ready for all of that. The intensity with which he lives, not just trains, lives, I think will see him victor on the 26th of March. And him being a British champion, for him is something that it needs to be, as far as he's concerned, a box ticked. So I think he is, in our view, a favourite.
21 wins he's had,
Yeah.
16 inside the distance. He's just had one defeat on his record against Billy Joe Saunders. Is he the finished article? If he's not, how far is he off the finished article? And that defeat against Billy Joe Saunders, how's that helped him?
That was just strategy. In Junior's mind, he didn't lose that fight. He won the last 6 rounds, brought the fight to him, but got outgained. And that's, if anything, how he lost the fight. And that fight is a fight that will come up again in the future. The experience that he would have garnered from that contest is that just get started, because if he starts, he'll be fine. Again, in my view as a former participant, I can't see anyone in the middleweight division or super middleweight division staying with him in boxing. And I speak the truth I feel because of the experience I've had. I know fighters, I see fighters, I feel fighters. This is probably not a word you've ever heard before in terms of boxing. You usually hear it around mathematics. Algorithm. He has an algorithm which is, in my view, unique, different, level 2. Anyone he fights, so long as he follows the strategy of his team. He has an algorithm that I think is going to change the game. And I would hope that my word is taken with, with some respect in regards to what I've achieved. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I'm excited.
What we'll do now, we'll just hand the mics to our two boxers now. We are obviously here to hear these two guys, to see what they've got to say to each other, see what they've got to say about each other, and see what they've got a view on ahead of the big fight. So Chris Jr., a lot of people in the boxing world straight away are asking the question, why have you taken the fight? You are a former WBA interim middleweight champion, so why have you took the fight, Chris? Let's hear it from yourself.
This is something that you know, from a very early age, I always wanted to accomplish in my career. And you know, being a British champion, it's a big deal to me. You know, and I know that once I reach once I go for a world title, I can't go back. So this is something that I wanted to get done, to be able to look back on my career, my legacy, and be able to say, yeah, I did that. I became a British champion. It's here in front of me, so I'm taking the opportunity with both hands.
How does it feel to be British champion, Nick?
Yeah, it feels real good actually. I don't think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to have the same feelings as I've had, you know, because I don't think he's going to win the British title off me. And it sounds like they've already underestimated me. Talking past this fight, I'm 100% confident in beating Chris Eubank Jr., you know. So you want to concentrate on this fight first, and then go on after that, you know. But yeah, it feels good. It feels good to be the champion.
Chris, Nick says he wouldn't take this fight if he was yourself, if he was in your position, because he's such a dangerous opponent. He says that he wouldn't take this fight if he was you. What's your response to that?
A fighter saying that he wouldn't take a fight because his opponent is dangerous is cowardly. And you know, I expect that same type of mentality to transfer over to the ring once we get in there and start fighting. I believe that he'll show cowardice and he'll end up quitting or getting knocked out.
You two guys used to spar against each other as well. Can we detect from the social media and the comments that there's either a dislike creeping in or else there's one already there?
Well, there wasn't a dislike really, you know, but he said a lot of things. You know, this fight's 12 rounds. Can't get out after 5. Alright?
Okay, I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah. The last time we sparred, we always do 6 rounds. Got a bit too much Chris in the spar, and he got out after 5 rounds. You know, just pointing out to me, you can't get out after 5 because you lose the fight, and he won't become British champion.
I left the ring after 5 rounds because
you were a bit hurt. What did you say, Ronnie, when we were sparring? You said you and Eubank won't ever fight each other unless it's for a big fight and for big money.
No, I said...
That's what you said?
No. I spoke to Mark, your trainer, because he rang me up about it. No, I showed. One of the big shows. And I said, it'll be a hard fight. I said, you don't take... I was talking about you as well. You don't take fights like that unless you're fighting for... Just take a fight unless it's for a title and you're getting well paid, not just an ordinary fight. That's talking about you just fighting an ordinary fight. That was... Nick, that's what I said. I'm an honest man.
I know what, I'm not disrespecting you, but I can remember you saying, you pulled me over to one side, I think you and Junior were having a bit of tension was running high in the gym that day, and you said to me, you two were not fighting this for big money, and it's a big fight, you two can just be sparring partners and look after each other and help each other. That's what you said to me. I can remember it. I wouldn't bring it up if I was telling the truth.
I remember it as well, but that's what...
That's irrelevant what he said. Speak to me, not my trainer. You know, as far as sparring goes, you know, this was a long time ago. I remember staying up with my girlfriend all night before I would come and spar with you.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to give myself as much, you know, go into these sparring sessions with as little energy as possible to give myself.
So that's what you got out of 5 rounds, yeah?
Give myself more of a challenge against you. I remember you and your trainer lacing you up with 14-ounce gloves when you knew that I was wearing 16.
Probably felt like 14-ounce gloves.
I've never told Ronnie that. I've never said anything. I never brought it to your attention.
Okay.
You know, I felt that if you thought you needed that type of advantage, if you want to call it, then go ahead. You know, I also remember rocking you so badly that Ronnie actually told me to stop boxing and let you recuperate.
Of course you did, yeah, of course you did. Oh, okay.
Is that not true?
That's not true, no.
No, I'm glad you told me that it's not true, because that tells me that you know, you're in denial. You're a man of no code. You know what happened. Only me and you know.
Yeah, only me and you know what happened. You got 5 rounds, yes.
And so it's good that you can lie to me like that, because that means you're a man that cuts corners. And if you cut corners with me, you're in serious trouble.
Okay.
Nick, can I ask you, do you think Chris is a far better boxer now than the Chris you was sparring? And Chris do you think Nick's far better than the Nick you were sparring?
I think we've both improved. Obviously, you know, this was years back. But as far as, you know, if you're talking improvement-wise, you know, there's levels. And I am at a far...
That's what John Ryder said when I fought him, there's levels. And look what happened.
I'm not John Ryder, I'm Chris Eubank Jr. And, you know, you're going to see on the night that, you know, you're in with a guy who is, you know, far superior to anyone you've ever boxed. You know, I hope that you're going off of what we did in sparring and taking those, you know, the way I fought into that ring and basing your training off of that, because you know, you'll be in for a big shot.
Okay, I think Eubank's taken this fight because he's looked at my last 3 fights, you know, and I haven't performed, you know. The last 2 fights I had an injury and I was ill, so he's probably looking at that. You know, I think he's going to come in there, bully me, beat him up, throw the uppercuts, you know, catch me clean, but he's going to have a shock on the night, trust me.
Let me ask you, Chris, what do you think about the win against Ryder, the 2 defences against Damon Jones and Jack Armfield? You've obviously watched these fights. What do you think about Nick's win and then the 2 defences? Is he a worthy British champion?
Listen, he's done what he's had to do, and you know, I respect anybody that has been able to get into the ring and capture a title. But you know, he's not bringing anything that is going to. It's nothing he can do is going to trouble me. You know, on one hand you have in Nick a generic, nice guy, British level boxer, and on the other hand you have a barbarian. It's going to be no contest.
Chris, you say you can pretty much beat anybody if you sort of punch behind you, stand behind your jab, and obviously Nick is quite an aggressive boxer. If you want to stand toe-to-toe with him, is that going to make a good fight? Are you still going to win that? Is it going to be a tear-up? How's it going to be?
You'll see on the night, but one thing that the British public know is that no fight that involves Chris Eubank Jr. will be a boring one. Nick's been in a couple of stinkers, and he's lucky enough to now be in a position where there's no chance of this fight being anything but a spectacular event.
Just a couple of things there, Nick. Chris is saying that he thinks that you're going to duck the fight and you're going to pull out, you're going to fake an injury. He says he thinks that's going to happen. And then Chris, Nick says you've already ducked him 3 times.
Yeah, it's a true story. It was 3 or 4 times actually. Boxing Board Control made the British Eliminator 2 or 3 times for various reasons. Eubank didn't fight. But I'm just saying, if Eubank was that good and he could beat any middleweight out there, well, I don't know why he wouldn't take the world title fight against Dan Jacobs. Obviously, you don't believe in your own ability.
As far as me, you know, ducking Nick Blackwell, I mean you nearly got a laugh out of me there. I'm not in a very laughing mood right now, but that was funny. You know, boxing is a business, and my management team may or may not have been offered a fight with Blackwell at certain times. You know, I've had every fighter in the British middleweight division call me out, and it's, you know, it doesn't mean anything if it financially doesn't make sense and reputation-wise doesn't make sense. Then my management team would turn down the fight. So that's obviously what they've done in the past with Blackwell. Now he has a British title, which is something that I want, and that's why he's getting the opportunity to fight me now.
Nick, you've had 23 fights. Chris, you've had 22 fights. Is this, at the end of March, your toughest one?
It's one of the hardest fights I've had. Career-wise, the biggest fight it's going to be, you know, because when I beat Eubank, it will open up a lot of doors for me. I've had hard fights in the past, I never had them, so I was chucked into the lines then, you know, with the likes of Martin Murray, Billy Joe Saunders, Max Barzak, you know, and I learned a lot from them fights. You know, I didn't go in there and get beat up, you know, I've done well against these lads, you know, and they're world-class operators. So yeah, I learned a lot from them fights. And obviously got one, beat John Ryder for the British title. And all that has brought me to this fight. You know, I just know in my head, in my gut, I'm gonna beat Eubank. I knew this fight was gonna happen. As soon as I seen a video of Eubank Jr. when he was his amateur fight saying he's gonna go pro, I just had a feeling back then that I was gonna fight him. And this is that time now, you know, this is the time for me to shine. I win that belt outright, and then just opens up loads more doors for me. And it's a good name on that British belt, you know. Eubank Junior, KO, boom.
Chris, is this your toughest fight?
It'll be a challenge. There's every fight is a challenge. You know, Nick obviously wants to keep his title, and I'm here to take it off of him. You know, it's. I don't think the fight's going to happen. I think he's going to pull out.
When have I ever pulled out of a fight? I thought Martin Murray broke a rib.
There's going to be some type of technicality where the fight doesn't take place. I pray I'm wrong for you guys.
You're wrong.
How many tickets have been sold, Nick?
I've sold quite a lot more than you, I bet.
He sold a hell of a lot of tickets, actually.
A lot more than you.
I just want to know the number of tickets that have been sold.
Well, look, I'm not going to go into details because we're pushing at the moment. But
I've sold more tickets than you, trust me.
himself has took close.
I think I'm more of a local guy than you. It just shows on Twitter, you know.
He's took close to 1,000.
Okay, good. That's great. Can I?
And you sold?
Nick.
I have no idea.
Okay, as well, obviously sold more than
Nick and Chris, we're going to give you a chance in a second, guys, just to sort of talk man to man to each other, just to sort of summarise each other. But Nick, I've got to bring this up because you've been on the social media recently criticising Chris for his out of the ring antics. You say that Chris should be ashamed of himself for putting on social media the footage of him actually knocking somebody out.
Why did you do that?
Sparring is a very important part of boxing. It's been well known now for the last 6, 7, 8 months that I document all my training. The guy who came down for sparring, he is a tough kid. He's been in the ring with and trained and sparred against Gail, Andy Lee, as well as other fighters. You know, so he's not just some kid off the street. He's a tough kid, and he was being paid, and he knew that the sparring was being filmed and documented. What happened, and this is boxing.
I just think it's very disrespectful, you know, to put a sparring session. Yeah, you can knock people down. He's there to learn off Chris. You know, he hasn't had a pro fight yet. You know, so it's not like Chris is really getting a lot out of that spar. But to put it on social media, I think it's very disrespectful. I think it's very disrespectful because I would never do that. I've put a lot of people down in sparring, but I wouldn't go around telling people about it. I wouldn't, especially even if I had it on my video camera, I wouldn't go and put it on social media. And the fact that you actually went to the CCTV and actually recorded it again and then logged it on, I think it's just, I just think it's very disrespectful. And you're a professional boxer, you should act like a professional.
I have a team behind me who documents all my training.
Why didn't you tell them no? I've had people in recording me and I knocked someone down in sparring and I told them not to put it out on there. They were going to and I told them not to.
That's you.
That just shows the sort of person that you are.
I'm not you. All I know is my training is documented. Anything that happens in my training is put onto my Snapchat, and every fighter that trains with me knows this. I like that you're trying to sit here and talk about, you know, I'm Mr. Righteous and what happens in the gym stays in the gym, when every single interview and newspaper article you brought out, all you've talked about today is what you've supposedly done to me in sparring. So how can you then go and start talking about me?
Did film on social media. I told that kid, if he's watching, the kid that you were sparring with, if he's watching this, you can come and watch me beat up Chris Eubank. I'll give you 3 VIP tickets to go and watch it.
I didn't hear what you said, but you know, you can't be a hypocrite. Stick to your guns. Don't tell me I can't do something on social media when it comes to a sparring session when all you do is talk about what you've done to me apparently in sparring.
Okay.
Guys, just before we...
Can I just make this... it's an observation. I understand the way in which people may think about the fact that this was released to the public. Him dropping the sparring partner, dropping him. There's a bigger play at hand here, and the bigger play is the middleweights and the super middleweights, and it's turned out that this has sent a message to them, and that message is that Junior is coming for them. And he means to do to them what he did to that sparring partner. You see, now that sparring partner, whether you know it or not, with James DeGale, George Groves, Andy Lee, those three fighters know that that fighter doesn't get dropped. He's a very good, young, up-and-coming competitor. So Junior, let's say accidentally, has sent out a very strong message to these guys that he's coming for them. And that is fight, that's a fight business. Psychological edge is always at play. So already he's changing the game. Never before has footage like this been released. But he really means to actually have the senior position when all the dust settles. And this was, if anything, a message to those 3, 4, 5, all the middleweights out there. He means to do to you what he did to him.
It was very scary.
You heard what he said. Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Just before we throw this out to any questions from the floor, you guys have said that you would like to talk man to man. So Nick will give you the final word in just a minute. If you can just let Chris Jr. have a 30-second moment or something just to talk to you and deliver a message to you man to man. And then in return, Nick, if you'd like to deliver your message as the champion to Chris in return, and then we'll throw it out to the floor for some questions. So Chris, your man-to-man message for Nick.
You know, there is no profound statement or message I really want to send. It's just the fact that, you know, you're in the fire now, and this is going to be, you know, it's going to be a great fight. The British public want to see. I believe they want to see a true British champion. They want to see somebody that's going to represent them. I don't believe you're doing a good enough job.
I don't think we're doing a very good job.
So I'm going to take your belt off of you, and I'm going to fly the flag for Great Britain.
Okay. How are you doing a good job to the British public? All you're doing is you're not representing yourself very well. I think you're trying to do a bit of a Tyson Fury or Conor McGregor, but you're just going the wrong way about it. You're not acting yourself. Your dad's had chance, you telling you what to say.
Tyson Fury, I'm nothing like Conor McGregor. I'm just me.
Yeah.
And you should concentrate on being you, not worrying about
I'm being me.
Well, I know you are, but you continue to kind of compare me to people and talk about I'm ashamed and I'm a disgrace and stuff like that. You don't hear me talking. You don't hear me saying stuff like that about you. I'm not worried about you. I'm only worried about me. So worry about yourself. Train hard. And we'll see what happens on March 26th. But you know what's going to happen.
Final word, Nick?
I just want Chris to make sure he's in tip-top. I want to beat him when he's in the best condition of your life. And you'll talk about me pulling out, but I've never pulled out a fight. I was actually worried about you pulling out. So make sure you don't pull out. Make sure you're there. And let's give the fans what they want to see.
I must say that I'm bringing the salt and pepper. He's getting cooked. He's going to get cooked.
What are you going to do when you're hitting me? When you're hitting me clean, I'm standing there smiling at you. What are you going to do?
I will continue to hit you.
And then you get puffed out. In the spike fight, you're tired after 6 rounds.
Take a knee,
yeah?
Or get knocked out.
Alright, so what happens when I don't? And I keep it, and I'm hurting you. I'm going to put you in places you've never ever been before. Trust me.
I can't wait.
Trust me.
I like that talk.
It's going to be a bit of a shock. It's going to be a bit of a shock.
I thought you were going to kind of come here and, you know, Mr. Nice Guy, but, you know...
Do you know, I usually am quite a nice guy, you know, but...
Well, you know...
I've got a bit of fire in my belly with this fight, you know?
It's good that you have something to say for yourself, because it makes the fight more exciting. You know, I'm ready.
I'm ready now. I am ready now. He's got 3.5 weeks.
Great.
And Chris, a prediction?
I've already said, I believe I'm going to stop. I think he's going to give up, or he's going to get knocked out. You know, I don't think he has a chin. Like I said, I know what I've done to him in sparring. You know, after long nights with my girlfriend at the time. So you know, coming into a fight after 2 months of solid training, no distractions, it's going to be devastating. And you know, everyone's going to see it on Channel 5. It's going to be you know, it's going to be a hell of a show.
Nick, your prediction?
I just hope it turns up. I actually do hope it turns up. If it does turn up, I will knock him out. Later rounds, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to put him in places he's never been before. I generally do believe that. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a great fight. Both our styles together. He comes forward, throws shots with bad intentions, and so do I. You know. So we're both fit guys, both tough, both strong. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. I think there's going to be a stoppage, and I think I'm going to knock him out 8th or 9th round. So if you're a betting man, put your money on the 8th or 9th round. Easy money.
Guys, we really hope you do both turn up on the 26th of March, because this really does have Fight of the Year contender written all over it. Guys, Chris Eubank Jr. and Nick Blackwell, just put your hands together for the guys. Any questions from the floor, anybody? Anyone want to throw out a question at the guys from the floor?
Oh, sorry.
Good.
That's fine.
Next.
You don't want to ask a question, alright? Any questions on the floor yet? We'll get some questions in for the guys, and you'll perhaps be able to get your 1-to-1 in a few minutes. Go on.
Billy Joe Saunders is a common denominator loss for you both, and potentially could be a future opponent for you, whoever the winner is of this fight. Question for you both here is, what did you make of his performance against Andy Lee?
Thought he boxed a very good fight. I didn't think Andy Lee boxed a very good game plan. I think he was trying to counterpunch Billy Joe Saunders, but yeah, Billy Joe didn't let him. He's very quick, good footwork, made him miss. Yeah, I thought Billy Joe was very, very good. Yeah. He's getting better and better every fight.
He did what he did against me. He started off positive and then faded horribly in the late rounds. And for some reason, unbeknown to me, Andy Lee didn't capitalise on his poor stamina. I don't know why, but I think he was lucky that Andy Lee didn't come in with the fire in his belly that I thought he would. It was quite a boring fight for me, really, to watch. I thought it was going to be a lot more entertaining than it was.
Anyone else, any questions from the floor?
Question to the top table: is there any truth in the rumour that Adam Booth has left camp after finding his position unattainable? If anyone wants to answer that, I'd most appreciate it.
Probably had enough, didn't he?
So I guess that for me, that's quite funny. When did you hear that, may I ask?
Just this rumour's been going around on Twitter and on current social media.
Right, okay. That Adam has left.
For what reason?
What are you even asking for? What
I
reason?
was just asking you the same question, to be fair.
No, this is not something we know of.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anyone else with any questions for the top table?
Just questions of both. What happens after this fight to each boxer? Where do you go next after this?
When I beat Eubank, still whatever Mick wants me to do. He's guided me from the first day, like real good, So European level, maybe world level. I'm still young, so I'm still learning each fight. I've got age on my side. Chris will probably retire. I don't know what to do. What will you do, Chris?
You did it. You got to smile at me. You got to laugh at me. Congratulations. This is. I'm not overlooking the fight. Obviously, this is something. Like I said, this is something I've always wanted, to become a British champion, and the next step is world honours. After you claim a British title, you work your way towards becoming a world champion. So that will be my first point of business, to find a route to becoming a world champion as quickly as possible. I will say that the rematch with Billy Joe is definitely something that I'm looking to get as soon as possible.
Saying you wanted the rematch, you really badly did want the rematch before this fight, and the offer was there. Why didn't you take the fight? What was the reason?
I didn't hear the question. Say that again.
So you wanted to fight so badly with Billy Joe Saunders before this fight, and the offer was there. Billy Joe said he'd take it. Why didn't you take it? Because it was a good offer on the table.
It was, you don't know what the offer was, so
I know.
don't talk about what you don't know. But it's management, and you know, there's a lot of politics in boxing. The contracts weren't right, but we'll smooth things over eventually and get the fight on 100%.
I was told you wanted 1,000 ringside tickets for free. You know, that's the reason why the fight didn't happen.
Well, that's great that you've been told that.
True story, yeah?
Management.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Nick.
Yeah.
Personally, I think, you know, both of these two fighters deserve to become a great world champion after taking a fight like this for the British title. It's, you know, it's going out on terrestrial TV, it's going out on Channel 5, and there's the opportunity for it to do huge numbers, and both fighters to become, you know, proper household names. So I really do applaud both fighters for taking this fight at this stage. You don't see it often, and it's true testament to where both fighters are, both at the top of their game. You know, Chris Jr. has been very, very impressive since the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Very, you know, very impressed with him. But Nick, you know, for me, he's very, very unique. He's something else. To have no amateur experience and to be doing what he's doing as a pro now and getting better and better with each fight. I mean, he's a machine. He's teeth tough. He's got a brilliant engine, and you know, he can fight, he can box, he can have it any way. Same as Chris. Chris is a great fighter. Both of them world class fighting for a British title. Two world class fighters. This is brilliant for British boxing. It really is. So I think it's going to do big numbers on terrestrial TV, and you know, I think anyone here would put everything on the fact that this is going to be a brilliant fight. There's going to be no letdowns with this fight. It's going to be something special. It's going to be something, you know, it could be one of the best fights ever to take place in a British ring. So
Steady on. Steady on.
I believe that. That's why I went for the first bit. I believe it. I really do. So yeah.
So one final word then from Mick Hennessy. It is live on Channel 5. Guys, we wish you a safe trip in the ring on the 26th of March, and do us a favour and tell them with the fight of the year for everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Eubank and Nick Blackwell. Guys, we'll just get you are you going to get some pictures now?
If you guys haven't already done so, make sure you download the Behind the Gloves app. It's free, and it features really cool stuff like a fight calendar that reminds you of all the upcoming fights, and it allows for you to, with one click, to remind yourself directly to your phone. And it also features 24/7 breaking news that's going on in boxing. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that and subscribe to this channel.